Hey everybody. So, just a night after work, come home to relax, gather my thoughts and think about just, how easy my day was. I was out there in the cold and just taking meter measurements. Really not a bad day at all at work. Everybody worked together real well. And we're all working pretty close proximity to each other there as well. And on this site, bunch of cowboys really. Like no one, we're not getting COVID tested or nothing. No one knows who has anything, if anybody has anything. No snivels, no mask, no nothing. But I have noticed, obviously, as everybody else has, most of the people that seem to be getting COVID are the ones who have been vaccinated or around people who have been vaccinated with the belief that they're probably not contagious to anybody at that point. And obviously that's not the case. At this hotel, I'm not able to go swimming in the pool because it's shut down due to COVID. A lot of gyms are shut down due to COVID and things like that as non-essentials. It's a sad state of affair when the things that we do physically or mentally for ourselves to really get a grip with our lives and keep ourselves on the straight and narrow in a lot of cases, or keep a good focus, are being taken away, saying they're not essential. I've seen a lot of people up and down over the period of time that we've gone through this experience as a collective. People have taken on certain structures of belief. There's been fights between people. I've seen, families almost be torn apart by decisions over, all this misinformation that everybody's been getting. I found it difficult living in the Maritimes because I'm a little bit more of a cowboy there myself. And I have a hard time following along with the rules that people give me, especially if I'm not completely certain that they're on the right path. I like to challenge things a little bit myself. And I found myself thinking a lot through this, like, wow, the story keeps on changing, the story keeps on changing, the story keeps on changing. And at this point, we're all in a situation where we need to start thinking about how we're going to reboot, start back up. Let's forget about all the shit, all the differences in opinions and stuff like that, and where everybody's been with things. Let's look at how do we want to come out of this? How do we, when are we going to start getting the freedom back that we expect to have as Canadian citizens? Obviously we've grown accustomed to a certain type of freedom, and it's almost like a grandfather effect. If I own a piece of land, like I shouldn't have to pay extra tax on it. Well, in our situation, we've been grandfathered into a type of life. Our grandparents groomed us. Our parents groomed us too. We don't want to see that change dramatically. We like that life. We like the freedom of it. We like the close-knitness we feel with our communities in Canada. And, there's the way that we communicate amongst ourselves to get things better. So let's hope that this happens. A lot of truckers right now are getting ready to make a big journey and a big statement for a lot of us. And we truly appreciate that, because the working class needs to get back to work. We need to get the economy rolling again. We need to be able to make money to keep our families, clothed, housing, and fed. Like, this is the essentials of life, and these things need to be taken care of. A lot of us are making hard decisions about this pro-vaccination stuff being pushed on it, but obviously, when you see people that have gotten double vaccinated plus a booster, it's there's something to be said about that, right? Obviously, these people that are thinking that they've been protected from this are getting this, and it's going to get stronger. I mean, a lot of people I know that even got this, and I have some close friends. I was actually close to people who got infected with this, and it might be contagious and all, but it's not going to handle itself the same with all of us, just like any flu or cold. I keep my immune system really strong. I live, as far as I can tell, a good life now. You know, I don't do a lot of alcohol. I don't do things that would knock my immune system down, right? Like, and that's, you know, nothing against anybody who does. I mean, I have lots of friends who still do lots of things that I've done over my life, and I don't condemn anybody. I don't hold any grudges, no nothing. But I've been choosing to eat healthier. I've been choosing to live better, sleep better, work harder, and I haven't really, you know, I've gone through a lot of communities in this time frame of my life. I've been more of a gypsy. I've been able to see the mentality of people across borders, and to speak out with people directly about these things. And you know, a lot of us are the same way. We don't want to even talk about it. It's like the elephant in the room, but nobody wants to discuss it. And why would we? We're just so sick of it all, right? We're sick of it all. We just need to think about how this has impacted people and how we've seen it for ourselves now, how it's impacting people. And I know that, like I said, even the guy who got it that I worked with, he didn't even show signs or symptoms or anything. He didn't even get sick. But when he did the test, he came out positive. And there's lots of people like that. I got tested, and I was, like I said, I was within vicinity of this guy. We were moving things together. We were pretty close. And I got tested, and I'm still clean. I still haven't, or maybe the possibility is a lot of us might have actually got it a long time ago, another variant. But it's whatever our antibodies in our body from getting it once are being strong enough to just work exactly as it should. You know, if we got vaccinated, that, you know, it's to knock you. And I did get really badly sick about 2 years ago when this thing started. And a lot of people did. A lot of my friends believed that, you know, they didn't tell us about it when it got here, almost like it was something that there's no conspiracy in it. But if something got out and you tried to contain it real quick and you didn't want people to know that, you know, oh shit, there's a kind of a bit of an emergency here. Even as far as how fast governments moved on things and did the right moves. Yeah, masks work. You know, obviously they use them at the hospital. Yeah, the other thing is yes, keeping our distance from each other is always a good way to keep any curb on anything. But we've done that for now 2 years, and you know, families have even been to the point where they haven't even been able to be at their parents' funerals or things like that, based on living in different places and the lockdowns and things. And it's just getting to a point that I think mentally, as a society, we need to start thinking about, you know, the other parts of us and what's important. And that is community. That is feeling wanted, feeling loved, feeling a connection, feeling the joy of giving, feeling the joy of receiving. You know, these things, like, they're human nature, and we've been denied a lot of these things over the last couple of years. And I think it's about time that we start grasping back to what is human again, and looking at the fact that yes, this thing might never go away. And you know, we've gotten accustomed to the regular cold. It travels through us every year, and it hits people differently every year. Some people don't make it. Some people do, and some people it doesn't even know. They don't notice they get it, right? Well, this is how these things all kind of transpire, and I think we're getting to that point now. Even everybody was all hard on Calgary and Edmonton and all of Alberta, really. Because, you know, a lot of people in small communities just refuse to wear masks. They don't feel it's a community thing. It's really hiding your identity, and they'd rather have taken the chances, I think, a lot of them. And they got a lot of flack for that because it traveled really fast through those communities. But those numbers even have come down. And I think it's probably because it maybe did move fast through the communities or something, but now those the numbers are coming down because not as many people are getting sick or getting ill, and only the ones who I think that are really noticing it, that are going to the hospitals or going to the doctors. Anybody who's not hitting it like a normal flu, right? Like if you're just able to get over this thing and sleep it off like a 24-hour flu, like some of us have, um, when it hit me, it was 2 days. It rocked me. I had hots, like my body was just horrible. And I know a lot of people who even got the shots and they said the same thing. So I believe that it is a fast moving thing that goes through you. But some people never even showed any signs or symptoms, just like any other cold. And like I say, at this point, we just need to get back to the reality of we all need to make money. We all need to be able to do the things for our mental health that we are allowed, that we should be allowed to do, like gym and other things, like just physical things or community-based things. Even like, parents shouldn't have to feel threatened to not be able to see their children competing in sports based upon the fact that this is out there. I mean, it's been 2 years. Everybody's jumped through every hoop that's been thrown at them, for the most part, the ones who really wanted to keep those freedoms. And we're still watching it spread and still watching it roll through. So at some point, we just need to get back to reality of life. And the fact is, we all are going to have to face things like the sicknesses and all kinds of sufferings along the way. Each one of us is going to have our own experience in these things. But the biggest thing is the community that we live in, we usually pull together, and this is something that's been separating us all. We need to really be able to, and I hope that I see this already, and I hope that after this is all over, that more of us are going to grab onto each other and be like, oh my God, where have you been, brother? Where have you been, sister? Oh my God, you know what I mean? And appreciate that a lot more, which I hope really builds a better future for us after this is all over. We'll realize how much we miss those things that really are crucial to people being happy and living a healthy life. And that's where I hope we all get to. But as far as us being told how to live our lives, told that we're not allowed to do certain things, this has got to come to an end, and just get on with it, as we would say, So anyways, I'm pulling for y'all. Much love. I don't like talking about this stuff. It's not something that I like to bring up much anymore. We all have a different opinion, but in this instance, I don't feel I've given you any difference of opinion. I've given you a real. This is a rundown of what we've gone through, and this is where we're at. We need to get back to not seeing these suicides anymore, not seeing people feeling left alone through this, and the sufferings that people have gone through this. Yeah, if there's going to be continued vaccinations for some people who wish to keep them, it's no different than the way it was for the flu in the first place. You're very volunteer of who wants to get it, to keep the numbers down in the hospital, or those who are more susceptible, then that's where we should be. But as far as everybody being forced and taxes and levies and all this crazy stuff that we're hearing, we need to get back to work, and we need to start being together on these things, and telling the government, no, it's time. We need to start making some money, and we need these small businesses that have been suffering as long as they have. They need to finally get their ability to make that money back when they're working on half the people in their establishments and still the same bills that they have to pay going out the door. That's unfair. And I know the government says that they're bailing these people out, but I know a lot of these people, and I know how many of them are on the verge of losing everything that they've created. And I don't think that that's right. And I think if we're at that place in society, we have to look at things a little differently. Go for the truckers. These guys are doing this for us. They're speaking volumes right now. Some of them aren't even allowed to get back in their own countries because they're not vaccinated, coming back into Canada. And they've been driving trucks for us, delivering for you and I. These are things that as a society we can agree upon. There's good people out there whose lives have been impacted very, very hard through this. Time to get on with it. Let's get back to reality and get back to work, get back to life. All right? Get back to being able to see all of us again, our families, our friends. I love you all. Have a good night.